Hey, we're ready for level 3. Let's check it out. We're going to open up Mindstorms. Here's my slap level 3 program. Just going to highlight it. See, it's blue, so it's highlighted, and then move it over. Can't see the end of it. I'm going to minimize one level. Looks like that's the end. Good. I wanted you to be able to see everything. In this one, we're using a variable, but we're also using a random block. That's the new learning. Here is a random block. So let's watch how I do, and I'll explain. Come over here, take this up, get out our loop. This time, right at the beginning, we want to choose a random number. So I'm going to go into data, find that little die, place it here, and the number I'm going to keep 1 to 10. I liked that. I'm going to write that number to a variable that I will call weight1, because I just want you to see the difference. Oops, add variable, weight1. This, by the way, when you bring up a new variable, the technical term, so you can sound fancy and like a programmer, is initializing the variable. So I'm going to write the result of this random block. Let me go back and explain. The random block, it has a die on it. So you know it's just like rolling a die and getting a random number. You control the low and the high end of that output. So every time this loop goes around, it will roll a different number and then write that to a variable. The rest of our program should be familiar to you. I'm going to wait for the touch sensor to be pushed by our person playing the game. And remember, in my robot, the touch sensor's on port 2. I just keep changing this so you remember to change yours. Make sure it matches your physical robot. And then I go over here, and I want to read what that random number was. So I will say, let's take weight 1 and read the number. And then we're going to write that number. We're going to take that number that we read, not writing it, and whatever that number is, we're going to send it to a wait for time block. So let's look at this so far. Remember, I have the little stand where you have to put your hand. As soon as the program starts, it's choosing a number. You don't know what that number is. Once you push that touch sensor, it will then wait. It could wait 1 second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't know how long it's waiting, so you don't know when it's going to slap. The only thing that you know is it's going to make a sound. And that's going to be the only warning that you get. And I think I chose a horn. We'll choose a horn because that's a scary sound. When you're waiting and waiting and waiting, you hear that horn, and then all of a sudden, the slapper comes down. In this case, I didn't change the speed. I kept the speed at 100 for maximum frightening effect. You can't right-click. You can do Control-C. And then I think it's Control-V if you want to copy and paste, or you can go up and use Edit. So this is degrees, but we want to make sure it comes back up, negative 130. And then it goes around again. So watch what happens. Ooh, remember? I think in the last video I forgot to change the ports for level 2. You guys can go back and check and see if I did that. I was rushing and I forgot one of the steps. So it finishes, it goes back, it rolls the die again. It takes the result of that roll, puts it in a variable. Waits until you push the button. It reads that variable, and then it waits whatever amount of time it shows between 1 and 10 seconds. Then it honks, and it slaps up and down. And that's level 3, using variables and a random block, Variables and a random block. All right, give it a try, guys.